Hi, welcome back. My name's Ian, and I'm a voiceover artist, currently in Norway at the moment, above the Arctic Circle. A lot's changed in the past year, some for the better, some for the worst. And I won't lie, it's been tough, and which is partially why it's taken so long to do this next video. There's so much to say, so much to show. I spent the entire summer up in Ballstad on Lofoten, above the Arctic Circle here, not too far away from where I am now, and met some amazing people and did some great things and saw some beautiful sights. But I also really overworked myself in my attempt to heal myself and try to forget and keep myself too busy to work on the things I needed to work on. You know, these things help, but they also take their toll over time. And by the end of a few months, I had really strung myself out to the last stretches of what I could do. So in September, October, I got the chance to come to the place I am now. A smaller little island closer to the mainland, an hour away from Buda by ferry. And I needed it. There was a peace and a quiet here, a less stressful working environment. Not that the people I worked with weren't great, they were fabulous and helped me so much. But, less guests, less people, less running around and burning myself out. So I needed this time to decompress and isolate a bit more than I was, even though I felt rather isolated at times in Ballstad, even surrounded by people a lot. I never really got to meet too many people because I was always working and taking care of them and just running around like crazy. Here I was able to sit back and breathe a little, meet the people that came through, much smaller capacity, but also a bit more artistic, and the people that come out here have a bit more focus on what they're here for. They're here to create, they're here to get away, they're here to think and, isolate themselves as well. But also with the kind of community kitchen and space we have here, we do get to sit around together and talk and meet. And I didn't get much of a chance to do that for those many wonderful months in Ballstad. So yeah, it was something I needed, the decompression, the chance to actually connect with some other people. So yeah, I was able to do that from September into October, and then I needed to face some reality and go back to Olomouc and Ruda, back where my old cottage was, for the month of November. And I will not lie, that was tough. I don't have the cottage anymore. It was amicably decided that I will give up my share of it, even though it was so much to me. But sometimes you just have to let go of these things and move on. I loved the time I spent there. I loved what I did to the place. I loved what I learned and the people I met and the community I built up around. But it's no point fighting and arguing over a cottage, a house, something material. And I won't argue about that. And it's fine, not the choice I would have made for myself, but why fight it? Why make it worse? So I'm doing the best I can. And being back in Olomouc that month, I would say the first 3 weeks were so painful. Going back to a lot of memories, going back to the places that used to walk with another person and the life you had for so many years and realizing it's gone. And it took me a while to get my head out of the past. But there was a moment one evening, and if I hadn't decided to have just gone out on my own just because I needed to just be around human beings in a pub and see a concert if it wasn't for that little moment and just some things that happened over the last week I was there. It put that spark back in. It made me see the place new again and realize why I loved Olomouc and the region and the whole area around, and made me feel okay there again. And by the end, I was kind of sad to leave, though I was very happy to come back here to Flenvar, Norway, an archipelago, as I said, an hour away from Buda, and come work up here in this set of accommodation and meet the new people coming that want to come for the middle of December in the darkest, coldest months to see how beautiful it is. And it is beautiful, and it has something that I needed. Even with the isolation, the many nights I've just been here, many nights and days I've been here just solely by myself. There's very few people that actually reside on the island year round. But there's a stillness, there's a peace in that solitude. And I needed to get that and remember who I was, what I am. And it also gave me the chance, both my time in Olomouc again and here, to take what's happened to me this year. And this season, I've seen so many people have such a hard time. People going through separations, divorces, family problems, their own mental problems, many, many things. The situation in the world, the stress things are causing. And little by little realizing that, what would have helped me a lot, and there were people that were there for me this year when I needed them, but I know how much I needed that. So I had the strength again to give that back. And it started with a simple thing, like going back in Olomouc and helping my very dear friend at a cat shelter and volunteering there. Just being able to help these lovely little furry creatures and, clean up after them, feed them, and just give them somebody around to make them feel loved and cared for, and try to find them homes. And I would do that once or twice a week, and it brought some peace through that. Then that further carried on with a few friends that I saw really in desperate need of somebody, just even somebody to talk to or listen. So I made the real conscious effort to be there for them. Just friends, just lovely people that I would say that for many years I separated myself from because I was so focused on one little part of life. And I needed to get back in touch with all these people again and make them a part of my life again. However involved or however little, just being able to reach out to that person when you can see through some post, some message, some picture that they put up that things aren't right. And I know me, I've done it before. I put those little comments or pictures out there hoping somebody would catch on to how much pain I was in. Sometimes no one would do that. Well, many times no one would do that. But the ones that are close, the ones that want to be close, the ones that do feel, they caught it and they reached out to me. So what better way in this screwed up, shitty world at this present moment than to give a little bit back and make it a bit better for other people. no matter what we can do. It's tough now to be nice, but that's what we are. That's what we need. And why not? It doesn't take too much just to show you care. It doesn't take that much to tell somebody you love them as a friend, as closer, as whatever they need, whatever you need. And it can be just a simple little word that helps. So, might as well make this world a little bit better than it was before. However much of a drop of rain in the ocean that is. So, that's my goal for the new year. That's my goal for these next videos that I'm still planning on, that I'm working on. Another reason it has taken so long is because I wanted the narrative to be right. I've got so much film. I've got so many beautiful scenes and places that I went to that I want to show you, and I will. But it took me so long, and with one video that I had ready for months, to get the narrative right. I don't want it to come across negative. I don't want it to come across without hope. And if I had put the dialogue to it any sooner than now, it would have come across as painful and pitying and without a little ray of sunshine in there. And I think we've got enough of that crap. So I want these to be positive and calming and helpful. And yeah, that's my wish. Yeah, and going forward, there's so much I want to show you. There's so many places and things that I saw, and hills that I climbed, and coastlines I walked upon, and car trips I took. So I'll get those out eventually. Again, once the narrative is right. And unfortunately, yeah, so I won't have the cottage to work on anymore, but that can't keep me down. I have other plans. I have other ideas. It's going to take a little while before I can get to that point. But yeah, I'm not done building. I'm not done working on my little projects. So yeah, don't worry. You'll see me back, and hopefully with some cats again soon. Don't worry. As far as I know, at least what I'm told, all the kitties have been doing well. Some have been taken into homes. Penny's got a home. Yeah, Coco's doing well where she is residing now, since, of course, I can't haul her around and traveling. So, yeah. Cannoli has been seen and running around, and Lasagna as well. So the kittens are abound somewhere and seem to be okay. So don't worry. And I'll find me some cats again soon. I tend to do that quite often. The cat whisperer. So yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your patience. So I'll see you again sooner than this past time. And yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, whatever your beliefs are, whatever they aren't. Love you all, appreciate it, and thanks for holding on. I'll be back. Ciao.